Melora Hardin, congratulations on the Emmy nomination. It is a long time coming.
Thank you so much. I mean, obviously over the moon, and I kind of can't believe it. To be honest, I'm
Yeah.
just like, wow, that's amazing. But you're right, it is a long time because I've been working professionally since I was 6. So,
And that was only 15 years ago. So no, I'm
of
kidding.
course, of
Of
course.
course. Take us back to the, I know it's kind of a cool story, but take us back to the morning of when you found out you were nominated.
Well, I had kind of decided that Monday. I think the nominations were released on a Thursday, and I had kind of noticed on a Monday that the awards are going to come out on Thursday. So that's never happening. So I just put that out of my brain and completely forgot that they were being announced. And my husband was taking our kids to their like volleyball camp, and he said to me, turned around, our house is on the market right now, and he turned around to me and he goes, oh, honey, I think the real estate agent wants to show the house at like 2. She just texted, so check your texts. I never look at my texts. I'm not like a real, like one of those people that has my phone in my hand all the time. I didn't check, especially in the morning. So I like went upstairs, my pajamas, my hair is like standing straight up, and I pick up my phone and I look at my text, and the first text that pops up is from the head of PR at Amazon. And he goes, congratulations, you got nominated. Can you hop on a press call in 20 minutes? And I was like, what? Oh my God. I mean, I literally was like having palpitations, and I'm like, yes. And I sent him yes. And then I sent my home number because I don't get cell reception at my house. So I sent my home number like 4 times wrong. I kept sending it and all the numbers were wrong. And then finally I was just like, I picked up the phone and I called him. I called my husband, and he was driving the girls, as I said, and they really thought that the cat had died, or that like we just had a new kitten recently, like got a new kitten, and he thought that the cat had run out into the road because I was like, hello, like, honey, what happened? And he was like mad at me for hours after that because I freaked him out so much. And I was like, no, it's fine, everything's fine. It's just I got nominated for an Emmy. That's so ridiculous.
I know.
So, yeah,
it is.
It was it would have been good to have a little camera in the corner.
Yeah.
Because it was ridiculous.
Next time, can you try to get that sorted, please? But the thing is,
I'll do my best.
It'll never be the same as this one, because not only have you been working for such a long time, many of us know you we're so familiar with your work on The Office and other projects, but it's because the Emmy voters, it took them 2 seasons to catch on to Tammy in Transparent. And so that's why you're probably thinking, I didn't get nominated for the first year. It's not going to happen this year. I'm just going to get on with my life. But sometimes the Emmy voters, they have a bit of a delay and they kind of catch on a year later. Why do you think they caught on to Tammy so late?
Well, first of all, the first season, the rules changed. So I couldn't be nominated as a guest star. I was in 9 of the 10 episodes. And they had to put me in the Best Supporting Actress category, but really she didn't have a Best Supporting Actress arc. She had more of a, she did have an important arc, but I just don't think there was just no way for me to fit in there. So I totally get that. And then, really literally like, when I was writing an email to Jill Soloway, our creator on Transparent, to say congratulations for all the Emmy wins, I said in the email, next year we got to do something that makes Tammy pop out to the critics. And she goes, yeah, I'm going to write you your Emmy episode, which, a lot of times you write an email like that to a creator and they don't come back with, yeah, I'm going to write you an Emmy episode. So that was pretty amazing of her, I thought. And then she truly did, because that episode 2 was definitely written, the pool scene that we submitted that episode 2 for the Emmy nod. And she at the table read, she leaned over to me. It was written kind of much more concisely than it actually is in the show. And she leaned over to me and she goes, I'm going to write that a lot bigger. I'm going to write that a lot more for you, which I just, again, I think having someone like that running a show, being able to see what they've got and wanting to exploit it and loving that and really giving me that scene. I really do. I think that scene was like it's hilarious because she's just so it's so heartbreaking. It's like, that's what's so great about the show, right? It's heartbreaking and it's hilarious. And I think just that she's just so it's so incongruous, but then it's also just so heartbreaking because she's so right, and it's profound. I mean, I think she's actually speaking for the audience in that moment. I think the audience, talk about the Emmy voters, I think I said that at the end of the scene when we did it on set. I said, I think, Tammy's really speaking out loud for what the audience is thinking, which is like, all you Pfeffermans are so self-centered and so selfish, and you don't see that other people are getting, left in the wake from all of your, all the things that you're doing that are so self-centered. So I think that may be one reason that the Emmy voters, I think that they maybe aligned with Tammy and felt very compassionate and empathetic to her there.
Yeah. And the thing is, we have all followed the Pfeffermans and we kind of care about them, Mora and so forth, but they are complicated people. They're not stereotypes. And Tammy shows that other side of them. And that's exactly why we all love Tammy and for what she did at the pool. And I'm wondering, that scene that you did was really quite explosive, and it was an extended scene where Tammy's just really losing it at them all. How did you prepare for that?
I just, I like to get just incredibly relaxed, mostly. It's really just about that. And then, knowing what the scene is, I know who Tammy is, and I just hook into her. She's such an incredibly physical character for me. I really hook into her physically. And so I think once I'm Tammy in my body, and then I'm totally relaxed in my body, I think I've just from so many years doing this for so many years, working with good directors, bad directors, brilliant directors, and mediocre directors, you really learn so much about giving your own self permission and knowing your own craft and knowing kind of when you can rely on just sort of, you can have faith that like everything's that needs to come is gonna come. So for me, it was really just about being really, really relaxed and just sort of letting the kind of drunkenness into my body and letting the pain into my body and the pain and the kind of feeling of deceit and just that and then just taking it moment to moment and then just sort of looking at all the other actors who are reacting in the most alive, real, spontaneous way. It just happens.
Yeah, that's where the magic happens.
That is where it happens. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Now, I was wondering, going back to season 1, did you have any input at all alongside Jill Soloway and the writers in shaping this character?
I mean, I would say that the input that I had was mostly, I feel that like, same with The Office, that when you get into a show like this, where it really is a dance between the writers and the actors. So it's like what you're bringing to the character informs what they're going to write for you. And then what they write for you informs what you're going to bring to the character. So I do think that there was that dance going on. And I would say that, we were informing each other all the time. As far as like a real sit down conversation, no, nothing like that. But I do think the moment to moment definitely inspired, her to go in a direction, just like their words inspire me to play her a certain way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what would you say the most challenging part was to play this woman and fleshing out her story?
I don't know about challenging, like she was just so much fun that, I think I'll tell you, yes, the biggest challenge for me was that I really, really felt very serious about trying to represent a character that is so different than me, Melora, in a way that was going to feel real and honest to the people out there that are like her. To the real butch lesbians who, and I would say that was probably the biggest challenge, was I just really, really wanted to do them a service, because I've had a few, women come up to me and say, I never saw myself on TV. until Tammy. And that just is such a huge warming to my heart, because I feel like if they believe that I'm like them, and they get to see themselves, and they get to, you know, identify with that, that's one of the glories of Transparent all the way around. And I think everybody on the show really takes that seriously. We all take that seriously, of like, how do we represent that without, you know, we don't want it to be a cartoon. We don't want it to be a stereotype. We don't want it to be some idea of what that is. I mean, Tammy is like a real breathing, living person, and she's such a rich character. And I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like a character who was a butch lesbian. It was a character who just happened to be a butch lesbian. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
She wasn't defined by the butch lesbianness. She just happened to be that. And so that was, I think, the biggest challenge, was just really, really checking that. And I think that a lot of that, I have to say, was dealt with even in just my costumes. I mean, the amount of time we spent getting her look right, getting Tammy was a lot of time. And as I said, I'm very physical with her. And so I need to be able to walk by a mirror and be like, ah, oh, there's Tammy. You know, like, I need to see Tammy, and I need to, like, it just helps me go like, that's Tammy. You know, I remember that when I did Chicago on Broadway, I played Roxy Hart, and there was a little mirror right before you go on stage for your first entrance, where I would go down and I would do my red lipstick. Like, I would just finish my red lipstick, because I always wear red lipstick, you know, and I would do my red lipstick, and I would just look in the mirror, and I'd be like, hello, Roxy, you know, and I'd just start that. And it always was so helpful just to see Roxy, like, right there. Same with Tammy. Like, I need to see her, and and then just to make her living, breathing in her world.
Yeah. And so
that was a long answer.
No, it was a good one.
Okay.
Living means that you are treading that line between stereotype and real, and it's not easy. A lot of shows don't get it right. You know, another show, for example, who does similar characters would be like Orange is the New Black, where you're playing real people who have real emotions. But what I wonder, and I've asked this for many actors, because I would expect it to be a challenge for me, would be playing someone unlikable sometimes. She's not likable all the time. She doesn't have to be. But that must be because you take ownership of the character. You love her, but she's not likable sometimes. In fact, sometimes you just really want to throw her out. Like, how does that feel? And is that a challenge as well?
I think that is the reason that I play characters that are sometimes unlikable, or what I would maybe say flawed. It's one of the greatest things in the world to play a flawed character, because hello, we're all flawed. You know, and so, you know, I think it's you said it, you know, the reason that I can play that and feel good about that is I do love her. Like, I'm in love with Tammy, just like I was in love with Jan, you know, on The Office. I really love them. And people used to say like, oh, you know, Jan's a bitch. And I used to be like, she's not a bitch. I mean, I just found that so, I was like, you don't understand Jan. You don't know her. You don't understand what she's going through, you know? So it's just like, so that would be to me be a very black and white thing. And I don't think about my characters that way. Obviously, I think of them as, you know, living, breathing people, characters that are human beings. So I can really get inside the darks and the lights, and I guess the darks are just as exciting and fascinating to me as the lights.
Yeah, absolutely. Many of your scenes, particularly in season 1, were filmed alongside Amy Landecker. Obviously, that was the core relationship that Tammy was having on the show. Talk us through working with her, because that would have been important, getting that right as well. Yes,
definitely. You know, I mean, first of all, Amy needs to get nominated. Yes. I think she's just so wonderful. And she, you know, it's funny because we did a chemistry read together before, you know, we ultimately decided on me. They ultimately decided on me for Tammy. And, you know, people always say like, how do you create chemistry? You know, chemistry is really easy. You just need 2 people that are 150% in the water. And that's the thing I love most about Amy. We're both in, and there's no holds barred. We're in together in the pool, completely naked, completely immersed, completely in the deep end of the pool, and we're holding hands, and we're like, we're doing it. So that's the greatest thing I can say about working with her. She's all in. We're all in together.
Yeah. I could say that about the show as well. The show is all in, and it's become probably one of the, if not the most acclaimed show on TV or on streaming, whatever you want to call it. But, it routinely receives nominations across the board, and other actors and directors and writers that I talk to often say to me that's their favorite show. Why do you think Transparent is so respected and loved and acclaimed by people in your industry?
Well, I think that, I think anybody who's in our industry really knows when something is coming from a genuine place, but also a place of inspired experience. Jill Soloway tells a story about how, she was going around and pitching shows, and to all these different networks, and all the networks were kind of saying like, well, we just want a real feel good, this show, or a feel good that show. And she was like, really, I want to change the world. I mean, and so I think when she started the show, she really, her father, came out, and I think that was definitely an inspiration. And, she's smart. And so I think on that phone call, she says her wheels started turning. And I think that, everyone always says, write what you know, right? We all use, we have our internal tool belt. We have the tool belt of the experiences we've collected and garnered over the years, relationships and good things and bad things. And I feel like Jill is a very, very experienced writer and very experienced, working within the system. And then to be able to work within the system, but break free, and to then inspire everyone around you in every department to sort of set everyone free. Because who is it that said, I remember hearing, who directed White Men Can't Jump? Ron Shelton, right? Was that Ron Shelton? Am I right? I think so.
Yeah, I have to look it up.
Who knows? But I'm pretty sure it was Ron Shelton. Anyway, I remember hearing him on a KCRW when that movie came out. That was a long time ago, I know. But but I remember hearing him on KCRW, and you're going to find the answer for me, I know. Thank you. But anyway, he was talking, and they were like, how did you get these incredible it was Ron Shelton, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Good. Good. Yay. Why? How did you get these incredible performances out of Woody Harrelson and all the other stars of the movie? And Ron said, I have an adage, which is just, I believe that you have to make every actor on your set feel like there is nobody in your universe that could play that part but that actor. And I also make them know that they will never get slapped on the wrist for trying anything, because he says you can always have a good actor can turn in a really good performance, even against all odds, but a good actor can turn in a great performance when they're completely set free and feel totally safe. Right. So I think everybody in the industry recognizes safety, recognizes that kind of net that is put underneath the whole show. I think really from editing, costumes, camera, cinematography, acting, music, it's like guidance and a vision for the show, but not strangling the show into some hole that you think it should be in. It's really and I think everyone appreciates that and wants to celebrate that and wants to honor that. So therefore you get really incredibly free and spontaneous performances from the actors. You get really incredible theme music. You get really amazing, cinematography, and just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, and that would explain, partly why the streaming platforms and premium cable and those platforms have done so well, because they do let their creatives just kind of go and do what you want to do and make something really special. And that's what Amazon did with Transparent.
Yes, absolutely. No, you're so right. It's really interesting how there's still people clinging to some cookie cutter idea of what it's supposed to be. But to be honest, that's because you've got a lot of business people that don't know how to trust. They don't know how to put their dollars somewhere and then give free rein and trust. You got to have trust and free rein, got to, you can't expect creative people to create in really magnificent ways if they don't have the company's trust. And, Jill Soloway has the company's trust, and I have her trust, and she has my trust. It's just this wonderful exchange of trust, which I think makes for some magic.
It sure does. I mean, you still see a lot of really good stuff on the broadcast networks, and I mean, you are on The Office for years, and I'm not going to lie, Jan Levinson was my favorite character. So I want to know. I loved her. She was so crazy, but in a good way, and she kind of just really took it to Michael in the best way possible. I just thought it was genius, and I would like to know, what was your number one, if you can pinpoint one, your number one highlight for playing Jan?
Oh God, so many. I mean, for sure, the dinner party episode was, I would say, the quintessential moment for Jan in all ways. She just, it was splendid to watch, to feel her and watch her and be her unraveling.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, wow. She was great.
She was very funny.
She was funny.
So Tammy's not coming back for season 3, is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
We're not going to see her. Maybe she might return. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so what's next for you then? What are you working on at the moment?
Well, I'm doing a pilot right now for Freeform, which is ABC Family rebranded to Freeform. And it's called Issues, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah. Sort of about in the fashion world, all takes place in the fashion world. So couldn't be more diametrically different and opposite from Tammy.
From Tammy. You're just all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, the outfits I'm wearing are really awesome.
Completely different.
Not that Tammy's outfits weren't awesome, because I love Tammy's outfits too.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Emmy, on Creative Arts Emmy night, when you're there waiting for your category to be announced, you're going to be amongst some legends. You've got like Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Amy Schumer, Melissa McCarthy, Laurie Metcalf, Christine Baranski. Like, that's ridiculous, right?
It is ridiculous.
So if you do happen to win, that'll make it even more sweeter, right? Would that make it more sweeter if you won that against those women?
It sure would. It sure would. Yeah. They're amazing. I mean, I've met Tina and Amy many times, and they're always lovely, and they're just like perfect in everything they do, and fabulous in all ways. Amy Schumer, I just friended her on Twitter, and like within about 15 minutes, she friended me back. And I think I said something like that I couldn't wait to meet her, or something like that. Melissa McCarthy, I also friended her on Twitter. I don't think she's friended me back, but again, I'm not on Twitter very much, so I'm not very good at like checking all that. But she's also fabulously funny. And you know what I love too, when I really look at like all of them, and Lori and Christine, all of us in the category have really been doing this for a long time. And so I think that's really cool. And I've been thinking a lot lately about just the journeyman sort of actor perspective. I come from a family of actors, and my father, was, acting all my life, and my mother's a big acting teacher. And so it was like, for me, I don't know, I just think a lot about the people that are, just doing it, just slogging away all the time. And, you learn so much, and there's something really beautiful about, all those 7 people in the category there that we've all been there, done that, doing it, still doing it, gonna keep doing it. There's something really cool about the longevity of that, the tenacity of that, the persistence of that, and then just the incredible talent that everybody has, of course, and the incredible resumes that everybody has. And it's a real honor, definitely a real honor.